Everybody close your eyes, live stream and replay. Here we go. You gonna let me do it? Gonna let me do it? Ta-da! All right. Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We are sewing scraps today. Oh, I did start a little bit. Let me see what we got going on here. Today I'm doing orange, and I know it sounds weird, but I'm doing white scraps also. Because for the projects I'm working on, I need a white strip. Put that there. As I reach in front of you, excuse me. Am I in the way? Let's see. At least you didn't see my ear. Nobody wants to see somebody's ear. I think I need to plug my iron in a different spot. The small iron has a shorter cord than the long iron. So we'll just have to look at a bunch of cords. I hope you don't mind. It's normal life around here. There we go. It's not like you guys don't have irons with cords. I mean, there are some cordless ones. I still have the cordless Panasonic that I want to clean to see if that's going to fix the splurting of water problem, because I saw a video before I moved here. So yeah, I've been sitting on it for a while, that you can just clean them and then they'll work again and you don't have to worry about them spurting water everywhere. Because the cordless ones are really great for live streams. Oh, hi Giovanna, you made it nice and early today. Hi Tammy. Thank you, thank you. All right, come on. The problem with my brain is I have to have everything just, it doesn't have to be just right. It just has to be just right for me and very, like in a particular way. I don't want to like fight the cord and stuff like that. So it does take me a second to rearrange my life. I'm still sewing on the Pellon 987F, which is the fusible fleece. Seems to hold up to the iron, so we'll see. I had to give it a nice press to get it going. I pulled out my strips that you might have seen in the thumbnail, and I realized I didn't have any orange, because I think the last time we did this, I'd gone through most of my orange scraps, and I didn't really have any. Oh, look, I sewed two white fabrics identical together. Oh, well. My white bin is a mess. It's just little bits of all kinds, all shoved together. I mean, most of my bins are a mess, but this one's pretty good. Oh, interesting, Jackie. I'll have to look. Because while it's not my favorite iron to sit and work all day with, I do like the cordless iron, especially for doing live streams, because it gets rid of the whole thing with the cord everywhere and trying to manage it. Because when you're sewing by yourself, you just set yourself up in a way that everything's going to work. So I have my leash for the microphone, so I have to manage that. And then, you know, you have all the cords back there for sewing machines and whatnot. Every time I do a live stream with my leash, I always think about like people that are on house arrest and they have the little monitor on their ankle and they can only go so far. It's like ball and chain to basically my sewing table. Hi, Jody. Oh, you're apron making today. Yes. Men need the sturdy ones. There's no room for sewing. I have to have a clear table. I normally have stuff back here. Nothing comes onto the cutting board except for the sewing machine and, you know, when I'm cutting and stuff. But I keep all of my stuff. I just have to move it all when I need my laptop to read the comments. Hi, Ellen. And hello to everyone that is not leaving a comment. And if I missed you, come in. Hi, Charmaine. Oh, no. That's a long time. That's why when I saw this Brother CS6000i on Amazon on sale, I jumped on it because I started to get a little worried about my Juki because it hadn't been serviced in a while and it started making a funny noise. It just needed to be cleaned. I gave it a really good cleaning and, you know, everything's good. Knock on wood. I started all of my strips, but I think I'm just going to work on the orange first, and then I'll work on the white, just to keep me from accidentally sewing one onto the other. Though it would be fun to do striped Scrappy strips, so that you put like a black and white would be fun. What have I got going on there? Or just to put a white or something in between all of your colors. I think that would be fun. I'm pretty sure I'm going to run out of scraps before I run out of this paper, which is not a problem because I'll just use something else. I have more cords. I have all of this. It's 5 inches wide and I cut it to 2.5 inches. So I'm pretty good. That should last me quite a bit. I love the idea of aprons. I do, but I'm just terrible. I choose the shirt I'm wearing when I'm cooking based on what I'm cooking. So I have like we'll just say like a deep fried shirt. So if I'm going to make something that's oily that can splash up, or, you know, I'm baking with oil or whatever, I'll wear one of those shirts that are already stained or have a hole in them versus putting on an apron, because put on an apron over a good shirt, I'll just put on a yucky shirt. Yeah, that's about right. I made an apron and I made a drawstring bag. I always feel like the Brother sewing machine's a little bit louder, so my apologies. If it's too much, just let me know. Hi, Sherry. Oh, yeah, it's sunny here too. I think we're going to have a high of 73. I do have my window closed just because I know Robbie is going to be outside at some point, and, you know, he likes to listen to YouTube and music and stuff, and he follows the sun on the back porch, or at least he follows the shade, I should say. And right now his sitting area is closer to my window, and I wouldn't want him to feel like he needs to not do something because I'm here on a live stream. I do want to make a Japanese apron. I think I would wear that because I don't like anything pulling on the back of my neck. At some point I'll do that, but I need to go to a store and I want to have like linen fabric to do that. I wouldn't want to do it with just quilting cotton. I'd want something nice and sturdy that's going to last a while. Oh, sidetracked. I'm on the Brother sewing machine because I put a brand new needle in my Juki the other day to start sewing the bags and stuff. And while I'm not worried about this paper sewing through it, I am going to be sewing through a lot today. And I don't want to dull a brand new needle when I can just use, this is my fabric postcard sewing machine. And I put a new needle in this one not that long ago, so it's still good to sew with. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing on my Brother today. Plus, it's nice to switch up every now and then. Oh, yeah, men for doing the things they do, the leather and the canvas and stuff like that. Totally understandable. I'm not doing... I ran out of... I don't have anything to sew on. I'm not doing anything like that, so I'm good. I only cut out 4 of each color. I thought that would be enough for today. I don't want to have too much left over, and I'd rather run out of things to sew and then either leave the live stream earlier than usual, or to, I guess I'll just do it this way. I don't need to iron. I still have all of those fabrics behind me that need to be pressed and sorted and stuff. We could just chat while I just did random bits. I really want to, well, I need to finish that Earth Tones notebook, tote bag that I'm working on. And then I have all of those other things that I've cut out for the shop that I want to work on, all those bags and stuff. Hi, Lucy. Sunny Oxford. Ooh, roasted lamb. I've never had lamb. Hi, Becky. I hear it's really good. And it sounds like a roasted lamb dinner would be really good. I have 0 things planned for tomorrow. My kids aren't interested in Easter dinner or holiday dinners or doing anything. They all go off to other people's houses where they all gather together, friends that are here without family, and they all do their holidays together. So they ditch their family to hang out with people who don't have a family. I'm fine with that. If I really wanted them to be home, I could say, hey, you know, I want everyone together. We're going to do this on this date. And they would all be here. And then they would all leave. Hi, Yvette. Oh, sorry. Hi, Yvette Marie. So I plan on sewing tomorrow. I have a few more things. I haven't started cutting out fabrics for boxy bags yet. I have to settle on my size and then make the test one with the 3 different fabrics that I want to try, and then start doing the scrappy ones and stuff. But I have a lot of the other things all cut up, and I call those my nighttime projects because they don't take much thought process, and they're all ready to go. They just need to be sewn together. Fabrics cut, fusible fleece, interfacing, batting, whatever. I'm not doing anything yet that needs quilting, so they all have fusible fleece. I do need to pull out zippers for, what do I have? Oh, I have the coin wallets. Everything's sitting right next to me. I cut out a bunch of lining fabrics, and I have all of these as the coin pouches that are going to have a matching or coordinating wristlet that can be purchased with it or separate. I haven't cut all the wristlet fabrics out yet, so we'll see how that goes. It's going to end up being a huge update once it's all done. Ooh, 53. It was 51 this morning when I woke up because it rained. It rained and then the temperature dropped, but it's going to be mid-80s for the next week or so. It's really beautiful in the 80s here. If the scraps are large enough here, I'm letting them sew all the way past the paper. My paper is 2.5 inches wide. And the pieces that are sewn together, if anything happens to be large enough, I'll turn it into a postcard. But most of this is just going to go into the trash can. This is almost its last, phase of fabric before it goes into the trash. There are some pieces that are, how long is this? It's about 2 inches long because I just left it there instead of cutting it down. So if I wanted to, that could work for a fabric postcard. But after a certain point, I'm usually like, I've had enough. I don't want to work with you anymore. Hi, Linny. Linny? Linny. Lynn. I'm pretty sure it's Linny. Tell me if I'm wrong. I am sewing my scraps onto the paper. The paper I'm using is, if you've ever bought batting off of the roll in yardage, this is from the fusible fleece. It has that paper with the directions that go round and round and round. Well, there was a ton of it, and it's 5 inches wide, so I cut it in half, and it's really thin tissue paper, but it's kind of waxy sturdy. So it'll rips out of here real easy, but it stays together long enough to sew. So this is a lot easier to tear off than the calculator paper and the register strips and stuff. So I'm utilizing that. I bet you if you know anyone that has stuff they buy by the yardage like that, they would save it for you, because most of us just crinkle it up and throw it away. I'm sewing by color with scraps that are about 3 inches wide and whatever they are, but I'm mostly sewing with rectangles. I'm not doing the wonky stuff. And then I have a super secret project that I'm working on. 155. Are you really done, Giovanna? Or are you going to make some more? Because I feel like it's one of those things, like you'll make enough for what you need, but you might just keep making them. Are you making jewelry with them? I really wish I had more. I didn't want a bunch to sew on, but like 4, I feel like 4 is not enough. I usually do things in increments of 10 strips, like doing strings and stuff. We should probably do a string quilt next year, maybe, or later this year. The log cabin one's going to get done eventually. Yeah, I never thought about it either. The brain and the tongue is just not working right today. I had a run for like 5 minutes where I was smart, and now everything's just kind of tired. I never thought about it either until I had several yards of it that I'd purchased. I thought I was purchasing a bolt online from Joann's a while back, but it ended up being just yardage. And I was like, oh, wait, I know what I can use. Let me measure. Oh, it's 5 inches. That's perfect. I can get 2 strips out of it. So I'm like, nice. And I'm one of those weird people. You're either 50-50. You love it or you hate it. And I kind of love the crinkle sound. Unless it's one of those days where I hate the crinkle sound. Yeah, I don't shop much, and I don't get many receipts, so that does not work for me. I do see calculator paper and stuff like that at the Goodwill all the time. You can also find anything that's really thin. Look at, let me see if I can get this in half. No, that's too tight. Dollar Tree has really thin paper. You can find stuff in like the kids stuff. They have those rolls of paper. Just find the really cheap thin stuff, and it's a lot easier to tear off. You can also get, here's my paint can, one of those little paintbrushes that it's a tube with water and it has a little paintbrush on the end, and you can take that and you can rub it right on your seam if the paper is thicker, and that'll allow it, it'll get wet obviously, and it'll peel right off. And if you don't have that, a little cup with a small cheap paintbrush and you can do the same thing. I haven't gotten one of those yet because I really haven't gotten myself into a situation where I absolutely need it. But it's also good when you're doing quilt blocks and you want to do something with the seam and it's not behaving. You can put a little starch in your brush or starch water and do something similar. Because sometimes we just need a little bit of something to get things to work nicely. Your thumb is in pain. It says it is done. Crocheting squares with raised flowers for a granny throw. DK cotton yarn. I'm not an experienced crocheter, but it's going okay. Oh, you've done 8 squares. Great job, Lucy. Granny squares are a great place to start. Your hand, you'll get that muscle memory by the time you're done. And if they're not all like exactly perfect, or if you put 3 of the double crochets or whatever you're doing in instead of 2, or 2 instead of 3, it's not going to be noticed. And once it's all done and you wrap up in it, it's going to be great. I have a whole bunch of yarn in my box down here. And I really want to make granny squares, but I have too many other things to do, and I've been sewing at night instead of crocheting and stuff. Yeah, any of those receipts where you get like run, like you go to Michael's and you get a receipt because you bought one thing, and then you get, because they're giving you all kinds of things that are like on sale and stuff. Normally I would just take another, I would like cut off the first strip and sew another one and keep rotating the 10 strips through. I'm just putting a piece of, I call it spider fabric in there because it has all the little legs on there, and I put that through so it holds my needle so I'm not constantly having long bits of thread. I'm also using a spool of thread that was gifted to me a while ago. It's cotton and polyester, and I don't normally sew too much with polyester. I do have some random thread that I use, but for projects like this, I figure it's kind of good. Polyester adds a little strength to it. And it's, like I said, it's not something I normally use, so I need to use it for something. The water paintbrush, yeah. I know they're very cheap, and I have it on Amazon, but half the time it's out of stock and everything. So I keep an eye on it occasionally, but I just haven't grabbed it yet. Because I don't need it. It's just one of those, hey, that's a good thing to have on hand. This orange fabric right here, I've been using it for a while. It was sent to me as a scrap. I love it, but it's flannel. And in a project like this, it doesn't really matter. Oops. It doesn't matter if it's flannel because it's not going to do anything weird. It's only a small strip and there's all kinds of stuff in here. I'll get things eventually. When I really find that I need something, then I go ahead and I order it. You know, Amazon's hit and miss whether you get it today or next week. I still have never received the big 40-pound bag of manure I ordered, not manure, manure topsoil that I ordered, I don't know, 8 weeks ago. It's 30 minutes from here at a FedEx plant somewhere, but it never got delivered. I ordered something else, got a refund. Like, you never know what's going to show up and when it's going to show up. I saw the fabric Easter eggs are popular again. The ones that have that little pocket that you can tuck candy in instead of doing the plastic Easter eggs. I have a tutorial for that here on my channel. If I remember, I'll put it as a pinned comment after we're done with the live stream so everyone can find it. I've been seeing them a lot on Instagram, and I've been getting some comments and stuff on mine. I love seeing things come back around again like that. Or you have to do something to give that thumb a rest. Are you going to be able to sew during the summer? I know a lot of people are either too busy or they don't run the air conditioning, so where they sew is just too hot. I put two fabrics close together. I don't care. The way this project is going to end up, it's really not going to matter too much. And I do have 4 strips, so it's going to be whatever it's going to be. This piece has dots down the center for, I think it's a selvage, but it doesn't act like selvage. It doesn't have that really thick bit or anything. And I think it's going to be fine. I'm going to put it in here anyway. Charms dangle with the beads. Oh, gotcha. So you're not making like jewelry, or you're just making some type of like a hangy thing, like a dangle. I see a lot of things like that. They put them for like bookmarks. I made it. Now, I'm guessing that those holes are for salvage. I don't know. It's not my fabric. It's someone else's scrap. And it could be anything else. I don't know. But it has that look. My toes were cold this morning. I actually have my wool socks on today. I wanted something soft and comfy and comforting. I love that wool can be worn at different times of the year. Though I really do not think I'll be wearing them in the summer. You just hope that it won't be too hot? Yeah. And really, it depends on whether or not there's a breeze and if you're at that part of the house that's a little bit shaded by a tree outside or something. And I figure it's really not sitting here sewing. I mean, sitting here sewing does get hot, but it's the iron that gets hot. That's what raises the temperature. I know in this room, because I have a, see where my plastic ruler is right there, right above it, I have a thermometer so I can keep an idea of what the room is like, because it used to be 3 degrees colder than the rest of the house. So I just wanted to see, is it my imagination or am I hot and or cold? And my big Oliso iron, it can raise the temperature 2 or 3 degrees because the iron and the thermostat's, the thermometer is really close. 22. Wow, that's a lot. But you made a lot of beads. I know when I sit down and make paper beads, that's it. That's all I'm doing. I make dozens and dozens and dozens of them. I enjoy it. It's fun. So most of my scraps now are rectangular. I do have a few wonky ones still because I haven't gone through all of the bins to pull them out and turn them into fabric postcards. But I'm trying to get everything so that it's just the rectangles. Rectangle-ish. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. But I prefer rectangles when I'm sewing the scrappy bags and stuff like that. And of course I can always just cut the strips if I need it for a project. Which is why I try to keep 1.5 inches or larger in my scraps. Anything smaller goes into the fabric postcard bins. My room is 75, so I'm going to guess that the house is below 78 because the AC will kick on at 78. So I know I'm below that. My ceiling fan's on low, but as I'm sitting here, my feet are getting a little bit warm, but that's fine. It's because I'm sitting here. I don't have the window open, the AC's not running, and the fan's on low. Wow. Yeah, I mean, my husband was always running a little bit hotter. I got to a certain age, and not just like, you know, menopause age or anything, but I just got to a certain age. After I hit probably late 30s, early 40s, it seemed like my internal thermostat switched, and instead of being hot all the time, I was cold a lot. But everyone, you have to kind of do majority, and I know me as a wife and a woman, I would set things to make my husband comfortable, because me being uncomfortable is a whole lot easier than listening to him grump about being uncomfortable. So I'd rather suffer. Oh, this one's going to be close. Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'll save that. Because once it gets folded over and I start trimming it, it could become an issue. If this is 2.5 inches, I try to keep everything 3 inches. But that one was just sitting in the scraps. So I thought, well, whatever. Oh, I think Gilbert is south of me. Jackie knows all that stuff. Jackie will know. Gilbert's south of us, isn't it? South of Phoenix and stuff. We already did the 100-degree temperature, so we already hit 100 or whatever the 100 was. I know we hit at least 100, and then it dropped back down. And I think I saw, it's so weird because everything is so different. I check the watch, I check the local weather, I check the national weather, and then just a weather app, and everyone has different temperatures, and they're not even like close to each other. Okay, good. Yeah. So, the highest I saw was 88, but I think their projections are really off because they said we were going to have a high of 64 one day and it ended up being like 76. So I think their far off projections are really off. Yeah, the hair's short for the summer. I used to enjoy having my hair long, but then I thought, I have my hair long, I'm hot, it's annoying, and I'm constantly putting it up all year long. What's the point of having long hair if it's always in a ponytail, in a bun, or braids, or whatever? So I went ahead and I just chopped it short one year. I went to get a haircut, and I came home with short hair. Like, whatever. My husband loved my long hair, but he also didn't care that I cut it short, so that was good. It snowed. I don't know, my daughter told me where. I forgot. Just a little bit north of us, a couple hours north of us. They had snow the other day. Did you see the central northern states that got all of that hail the size of golf balls and how much damage it caused? You know, when I see hail and stuff, it's like, oh, look, it's hail. It's kind of cool. We'd get hail occasionally in Florida, but it was nothing. It's like pea-sized hail. This broke through skylights, holes in people's houses, damaged their vehicles. It was really scary because it was bad. Yes, somewhere up in that area, Connie. Yeah, it's crazy. And when Florida was crazy, it was great because it takes you like 12 hours to go from one end of Florida to the other end. So you're like, okay, you can have different zones and stuff like that. But Arizona, it's really crazy how it snows in one place and it's 100 degrees in the other. I think it's just been one of those wacky springs. But did you guys have a mild winter? I think some places had mild winters. I remember talking to someone saying, uh-oh, you haven't had that much snow. I bet you're going to have snow in the springtime. Because it's one of those wacky things. If you don't get snow in the winter, you'll get snow in the spring. Giovanna, does it ever rain and not flood? You guys get torrential rain all the time? You get a lot of rain. Or you're just not set up to handle the rain? Because you guys are always flooding. No snow. Now, I know here, because the ground is so hard, I couldn't understand it when we were in Florida. And they're like, well, we got an inch of rain, and, it's flooding, and cars are floating away. And I thought, wow, it rains 5 to 8 inches every day in Florida. And, we don't have flooding, or if we have a little bit of standing water, it's gone in a couple hours. Then I've learned by talking to all of you guys that Florida was just weird like that. It's not normal. And the more I'm here, the more I can see and understand. Without having experienced things, it's kind of hard to understand how an inch of rain can cause flooding like that. But the ground is rock hard. Now, even with my front yard having grass and stuff, the only place that it's soft is exactly where the sprinklers are. As it sprays out and stuff in between, there's no way to dig into the ground. It's rock hard. So that's crazy. So I have to work really hard to do anything. Yeah, it's a type of soil. Wow. It never used to, huh? Sorry, my fingers, because of the eczema breakout, they get itchy and I tend to tap my fingers a lot. And I've learned that it's kind of loud in the videos, so my apology if it's too loud. I really love the orange fabrics. I have, this has pumpkins in it and the sunflowers. I really love the orange fabrics with the white on it like that, or any of the fabrics, because I have this yellow with daisies on it, with white daisies. I really enjoy those kinds of fabrics. I never made it to the Joann's here. I do want to take a peek in. They said some of the stores that were planning on staying open before they ended up completely going under, that those are the stores they're sending all of the stuff from the warehouses to. And my Joann's here, that I've never been to, but it's still mine, they're one of the ones that was supposed to stay open. I know this is going to sound funny, but I have access to my car coming up soon. I can drive I can drive my car whenever I want. I just don't want to, bother my daughter. If I don't need it, I don't need it. But I have a doctor's appointment on the 30th, and then I have one on May 12th. So I want to go to Dollar Tree on one of them, and I want to go to the Joann's and see. Hi, Laura. Oh, okay, Giovanna. So it's just crazy time. Yeah, we didn't have, other than like hurricanes and stuff, we didn't have like your basic what we'd call normal flooding, like summer rain flooding and stuff, where I see like in Missouri and stuff, where it's just one big brown river and you can see like just the top of houses or houses, float by and stuff. That's kind of scary just to watch. It's so unreal to see it on TV. So that when we see it in, excuse me, I don't think you, there we go. When we see it like in real life, it's kind of hard. I think maybe our bodies, our brains are set to feel for people, but not experience it as much as a safeguard or something. Or I don't think I'm cold-hearted. I feel really bad for everyone. But if I'm not in the situation, I have a really hard time imagining exactly what it's like. I'm a little bit better now after the last runs of hurricanes that we had. That was kind of bad and scary, but like we've seen tornadoes and stuff, but the ones that have been going by recently, that's been so scary. So many people are just, I guess they're used to it, because I saw this video this morning. They were just parked on the side of the road while the tornado was going down, and they could just watch it cross a road about a half mile in front of them. And I'm like, I know what a half mile is, and you're a little too close for comfort for me. Like, you need to back up a little bit. Ooh, rain. Okay, time to rehydrate, everyone. Oh, I need to turn this fan. Oh, the AC is, I said, it's not running, so I need to see low. High. Medium sounds good. I'm so happy I haven't noticed the fan sounds in the videos. The jets have been going crazy this month. Hi to everyone. If I missed anyone or anyone came in new that's just lurking and doing your thing in the background, hello, hello. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll keep you company while you're doing whatever it is you happen to be doing. I hope you're doing something fun, some sewing. Oh, Justin's home from grocery shopping. I can hear the plastic bags. I have to figure out sizes for, speaking of plastic bags, for the grocery bags, because I picked up this outdoorsy type fabric, really kind of sturdy, from one of my trips to Goodwill. It was yardage and it looked brand new. So I want to test out some grocery bag sizes and stuff. I have so many things that I'm figuring if I can get everything cut and prepped, I can just do assembly line and just push it all the way through. And then the hard part after that will be taking all of the pictures. Hi, Mary. Oh, a small bathroom floor finish. Congratulations. Awesome. I was watching some of the small businesses with the young people, and they're like, I just moved into a studio, like a warehouse and stuff. And my first thought was, not that I'm jealous of it, because I'm like, great, good job. You're in your 20s and you're able to do that. Congratulations. So then I tried to picture myself doing it. And I'm like, Robin, why would you picture yourself in a studio when you could just picture yourself renting an apartment? I don't need an entire studio. If I wanted to be alone, I could just rent an apartment. It's just been an interesting trend lately to see so many small businesses, moving into their own places and stuff. I thought, oh, congratulations to everybody. I almost sewed that the wrong side up and I would not have been happy. What's great about this project is you can sew your strips any length. And if you need them longer, you just sew 2 strips together. If you made a mistake here and you put a purple in the middle of the oranges because you were talking, you can just cut it out and then sew them back together. It works out really great. You usually get 1 high windstorm up in Seattle in November. October through now, you've had 5. Wow. Yeah, there's something going on with the weather. I get a little annoyed here because we don't have any trees in this yard, but when the wind picks up and there's a good wind gust storm coming through, I have to clean up all kinds of stuff from people's trees that aren't in, the tree's not in my yard, but I have to clean up the debris, and I'm not happy with that. Yeah, there was a lot of rain yesterday. Oh no. Oh no. That's horrible, Laura. I don't trust basements. I've seen a lot of people do, like they'll put pool tables and they'll have family rooms. And then when people sew and stuff, and I'm like, I'm a little nervous. I would still want things like protected in plastic bins. I've seen too many people say that that's what happened to them. Like I said, the rain can't go anywhere here. The water can't go anywhere. It can't suck into the ground. And I was surprised. Normally we get like, people laugh at us because we count the raindrops. Because yeah, there was 10 raindrops, But yesterday it actually rained. It was kind of nice. Except for, like people in a situation like Laura. That's terrible. Yeah, climate change. Oh, yeah, dust and tumbleweeds. I have noticed that here. I thought my old house was dusty because it needed new AC vents, but it's just dirt dust here. It's crazy. That's what I was thinking, Jody. Why would I rent? Because, just sometimes your mind just thinks about things like, oh, what would I do if I had a studio like that? How nice it would be to have all of these tables out to cut and iron on and things like that. But studio space is like a rental of a house or an apartment. Oh yeah, this is great for carrots and stuff. I did that a couple years back. Oh no, Giovanna, no basements for you. I go through orange a lot. It just seems to be one of those fabrics. I can put another piece on there. One of those fabrics that I sew with a lot. Especially when I did the carrot bunting that one year. The bunting takes a little bit of forethought and stuff and to sew things together. To do it without scraps, I think I would be in a better shape because I really enjoyed making the bunting. I need to find my felt. the felt that I need for that. Maybe I can find somewhere local here. Because when I order stiff felt online from like Amazon, I get plasticky felt. When I order like stiff wool felt or half wool, half polyester and stuff, it's not stiff. So I might just have to do felt and then get the stiff interfacing instead, and that would open up, as I'm talking and realizing these things, that would open things up for me, and I would be able to do whatever I want and get it as stiff as I want. I go through it so fast. Orange is one of the one fabrics that I'm constantly running out of. It's crazy how that is. I never would have known that until I started separating out fabrics and stuff like that. You guys have even sent me orange fat quarters and scraps and stuff, and I just blow right through them. It's crazy. I don't even know where they go half the time. And these are just the small bits that are less, they're not all less than 1.5 inches. Most of them are, and if they were just short, like 3 inches, then I threw them in here. Two things. You can go to Etsy, which is fun, and just order orange scraps. And once you get used to a shop and you find one you like, then it's fun. And two, if you're local to, I always think about it, Missouri Star Quilt Shop, they have that butcher shop that they turned into I think they call it like their soda shop or something. And they have those bins of, you can just buy scraps by the pound or ounce or whatever. Here's a red bin and a green bin. You can buy buttons and other things just by color. I'm like, that's the only store I need to go to. If I went to Missouri, I went to Hamilton, Missouri, to the Missouri Star site, their compound, I call it, I would only go to that one store and I would be happy as could be. Oh, well, that's helpful, Giovanna. Yeah, well, maybe if you know the flood line, Laura, and where the water is going to go to or could come in at, maybe you could do shelves with plastic storage bins. If you can have your sewing space just sewing and keep all the extra stuff somewhere else, I find that very helpful. I like to have my scraps nearby because I'm either putting things away or getting scraps. But yardage, I keep in the closet. The only thing I have out here for yardage is yardage that I've paid for personally for the shop that I need to inventory for tax purposes. And then I keep my semi-solid colors because I reach for those a lot. So I keep them in the room here with me. Otherwise, everything's packed up or out in the garage in bins. Hi, so Terry. Oh, Mary's got fat fingers. What happened? One day job had been quoted. 5 days later, it's finished. Well, that's better than 5 weeks, right? Yes, you've earned it. After all of that, you have earned the time to be quiet. Well, it's not going to be quiet if you sew, but there won't be anyone else. You won't have to worry about other people. No interruptions. I say go for it. Sometimes it's just great. Now, my kids are getting back onto a good work schedule, so that means Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. It's just me and all the cats. So let's put that, excuse me, over there. So I don't have, unless someone comes home from work early or anything like that, the house is nice and quiet. And even though, like right now, nobody's bothering us, but I can feel their presence. I know they're out there. I know they're out there. They could come in at any moment. If I tell, my kids are really good. They don't really want to bother me. Robbie's the one that likes to come in and chat the most. So if I tell him, hey, I don't want to talk today, or I'm working or something, he'll leave me be. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's a free-for-all. They just don't catch on to the thought that, you know, I do work 7 days a week. Did you catch that? I saw the white fabrics and I tried to shake them off thinking they were stuck. Oh, moving the outlets 4 feet up. Yes. Oh, yeah. That sounds so smart, Terry. You're so smart. Sounds like Terry's been through this before. Yeah, you have to find different places to tuck things, Jackie. Does the handle of that iron get hot for you? Like, okay, this is the new one. They upgraded and updated. This whole gray area I can touch. I don't know. Yep, nope, the whole gray area. This doesn't get hot. The old irons, it does get hot, but if you get one of their newer ones, this is not hot. Like, I can feel, when I get close to the colorful part, it's a little bit, I can feel the warmth, but I'm the type that will constantly burn my hands, so I'm not careful with this iron. I'm careful with my little palm iron, but I didn't want to bring that one out today because it doesn't turn off. This one will at least go to sleep after 20 or 30 minutes. But yeah, no, it's not hot at all. I love it. That was one of the things, the features that said, okay, I'm going to do that. At first, I thought I wasted my money getting the small one because I used a big one for most things, but I've been using it more now, and it's becoming, you know, the favorite thing to reach for. Some days, I just don't have the strength in me to do the big iron. It's heavy. I missed something. Pendleton wool outlet, scrap bin, buy one, get one free. It's either the leaders and headers or enders, which are about 8 to 10 inches long, or width of fabric from cutting out backpacks. That sounds like fun. I haven't messed with wool very much, though. You've been through it. That's what it sounded like. You had some experience there, Terry, unfortunately. You have the new one. Does yours get hot? You had to return it for that reason. Oh, I didn't read your whole comment. Wow. No, it had to have been something, you know, things don't come. There's more, things aren't made as well as they used to be, and more issues have been slipping through the cracks when they inspect it. My shorts haven't had it inspected by number 83 in the pocket anymore. That's interesting. Maybe no one's really inspecting things anymore. But yeah, I definitely would, because that's one of the features of the new ones. It specifically says, Tula Pink was talking all about it on her Instagram, that's one of the things she wanted, is that it doesn't get hot on the project iron. So your hand doesn't get burnt. I think you had it defective. At least they replaced it, so that's good. Oh, it is a long process, isn't it? Oh, I'm so sorry, Terry. Yeah, that's hard. The hurricanes are tough. Pendleton, is that the blankets with the stripes? Pendleton? Pemmel? Who's that famous wool blanket maker that has specific stripes on it? Now, my white fabrics, there's a good chance that I'm going to have matchy-matchies and repeats and stuff, but white on white, I'm not going to care. I have been having fun forcing myself to use my favorite fabrics. If the fabric on my shelf is a fat quarter-ish or less than a yard, then I've forced myself to cut out different fabrics for my projects, because normally I put a white lining on things, and a lot of these will have a white lining just because it's going to work best. But I was having fun using different things and telling myself, no, you have to use this fabric now. You need to use it up. So shopping my fabric, I've always shopped my fabric, but now I'm not holding anything near and dear and precious to me. It's all getting cut up. I have some random fat quarters that if I don't use them, they've already just been sitting there for a while. And some of them are from you guys that you didn't use anymore. I'm just trying to check the white on white. Doesn't really matter too much. They kind of look the same on both sides. So it'd be nice to use them up. And the things like the little coin wallet purses that you could put credit cards and cash and driver's license in, or use it, oh, these are wide, or use it as a little wallet to take with you. Those are great to use fun fabrics. The AirPod cases, I think they would look a little weird if I made them all scrappy because they're so small. But for those, I just have to be careful because I can't have directional fabric because they go like this. And if I made them directional, at some point, somewhere, something would be upside down. And I don't want to have to think about which way to get it to make it look the best. And I don't want to try to get them to be correct. If I really wanted it, then I would have to put a seam on the bottom. Pendleton blankets to make long coats and okay, Pendleton, I had it right. Okay, I know that was familiar. I hadn't heard about them for a longish time, and someone mentioned them a few years ago to me. I'm just holding my head up. It's tired. A wool ironing mat. I love my wool ironing mat. Some of them do smell. If you get a wool mat on sale, that's fine. But if you get a cheap mat that's cheap pricely, chances are it's going to smell. Now, when it gets really steamy and I've used it a while, it kind of has a little bit of a wet, not a wet dog and not a wet sheep, just a little bit of like a wet animal smell to it, but it's not horrible and the smell goes away. It just depends on what you get. Now, I don't think mine is sheep wool. I think I got something else. I wonder if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. Luxury clothing, home goods, overnight bags. Oh, they make everything. Yeah, I love my wool mats. I bought a bundled set several years ago. Someone sent me money. They wanted to send me the wool mats, but they chose to send me money so I can get exactly what I wanted. And I watched for a little bit, and I got lucky. Within a month, I got one larger than this size, and then just a little like 10 by 10 mat. And I was able to get them all for under $50. And when I was searching, they were cheaper than finding them on different like quilt stores and stuff like that. $17 by $24. I got these in 2020. For some reason, I have a feeling like they weren't just wool. There was a different, New Zealand wool. Because I did a bunch of research at the time. They don't have them anymore. You can't buy them from here. I did a bunch of research, and they were saying different wool, different sheeps or whatever, had a different smell. So you needed to be careful if it was like a wool blend or if it had a certain kind of wool to it or something. There's ones that smell. Mine are also a 1/2 inch thick. Some of them are thinner. I really like this. But when I have it on my wooden table, TV dinner tray tabletop, there's wood in here, so that protects my mat. I've used, those Oliso irons are so hot, I've used a big iron, pressed the block and put it on my mat and just kept pressing them and piling them up, and it made my mat warp just from the heat of the blocks, so I had to be really careful. On my table over there, I bought a cheap table from Amazon just to press on, so I didn't care. It was like $15 or $20 or something. I didn't care if it warped or got wet or moldy or anything. It's got plastic coating on it and stuff. But I put the baking sheets, the copper baking sheets, I have them taped down to it, and then I have like a hand towel on top to absorb any of the moisture from steaming through. So you have to be careful with that with wool mats. That's the bar for ironing seams open. I've had my eye on that for a while. I'm not sure if I absolutely need it, but it's one of those tools that I feel like I should have, even, because I do press my seams open and stuff. It's one of the things I tried to explain when I was talking about my boxy bags and stuff. Yeah, Giovanna, I've heard a lot of people make their own. If you can get something from the thrift store, it's already been washed a bunch, so you know it's not going to smell. Hi, Sunny. We haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad you were able to catch us live. Yeah, I love all the different sizes. Because sometimes if I'm just pressing, it's different. I don't use a small one that often, but I think it'd be great to take places and stuff and to have next to me. This one I like because when I'm pressing fabrics, I'll put some here and here because the wool mat gets hot. If you keep pressing, those Aliso irons, the big one I know specifically goes to 100, goes over 425 degrees is what people were testing it at. And I kind of believe, I haven't tested mine specifically, but I believe that it gets that hot because I've burnt my fingers just touching the wool mat. So if you press in the same spot over and over, it gets hot. So having the big mat is nice, but the little one is great for just small, quick projects too. I think it's just like quilting rulers. We only need one size, but the other sizes are really helpful and make life easier. So when I saw the 3-pack set, it was on sale for like a Christmas deal from what I just looked at. I thought, oh, that's great. That's perfect. You just can't catch a live for anything. I know, it's at an awkward time, especially now that we're in Arizona. So it's kind of like in the middle of everyone's day now. Except a lot of you guys are here now. So when I was in Florida, you would have to be up early to catch a live. And now you're like, hey, this is kind of nice. We're at that time change that I don't like because now we're 3 hours away from Eastern time. So a lot of things that either I watch or people I know and talk to or whatever, it's a 3-hour difference. So they're thinking, oh, it's 9 a.m. Robin's sure to be up or something, and they'll send me a message. And I can't answer it right away. And I feel bad because it takes several hours for me to get to it. But one, I'm usually either just getting up or not up yet. And I don't sit down to work until about 9 o'clock in the morning, which is, lunchtime for most of you. So it's just weird. Yeah, this is a really good size. I use this one for a lot of my projects. I pull the big one out, which is 24 inches. So it's the size of the mat here. And I put that on my table next to me when I'm working on a quilt, and I'm going to have a lot of quilt blocks. So I know I like to line up all of my pieces so that I can press it again, and I put one of my wooden blocks on it. And if I'm just doing quick little projects, I do this. I use this a lot for like video projects and stuff like that. Hydrate. Oh yeah, I totally get it, Sunny, but it changes for a lot of people because 11, 12, 1, 2. So it's 2 o'clock in Florida and the East Coast and stuff. And if you guys are out and about doing stuff, you're either not home yet or you're out doing it. But if we did something at like 9 o'clock in the morning, it makes it easier. But nobody wanted to be confused. Everyone is used to this time, so that's why we're sticking with it. Yeah, so it's 3 p.m. So it's at that weird time. And Giovanna, yeah, she's got to stay up late. So she's in a whole other world over there, let alone time zone. I miss a lot of my live streams, especially ones that are in the UK, because they used to be at 9 o'clock in Florida, and now they're at like 5 or 6 a.m. here, and it's like, nope. I'm not watching that live anymore. I don't always chat on the live streams, but I feel like, I know you guys, a lot of you feel the same because we've talked about it. Even if you're not chatting during the live stream, you want to be there for it so you feel more part of it. Plus, you can see, I try to read some of the comments if it's like something really commenty that, I'm going to comment on myself and stuff. But most of the time, you can't see it for 24 hours. So it makes it a little bit hard. Almost. I'm trying to follow the rule that I can push it down a little bit, but I can't like jam it all the way down like that, so it has to stay kind of fluffed up. There is about a third on the bottom that I can't remember what's down there, but it needs something special to be done. It can't just be like, here it is, put it in a fabric postcard. So I'm holding on to down there. But once it starts popping over the top, then I have to make something. I'm still working on, because I've been working on other projects and getting stuff ready for the shop at night, I stalled out on my fabric postcards. So I still have all of these to thread bind, like these. That I should be able to get that one night, maybe a regular couple hours one night and an hour the next night. It's just everything's starting to pile up, And I've been seriously thinking, well, first I have decided that I'm going to pay someone to set up my Shopify. There's this one shop I've been checking into. I almost said investigating, but that sounded kind of rude. I've been checking the reviews and checking the different Shopify shops that they've created for people, and they seem to do a really good job, and they can do it in 24 hours. Just to give you the information, so if anyone's ever interested, you'll know. I don't know what the shop is. You'd have to email me to ask. I don't remember. But it's $110, and they have a lot of 50% off sales, so you can get a shop set up for $55. And I think I'm going to do that soon. I was going to wait more into summertime and work on it myself. But I think for the ease of knowing that everything has been set up correctly and they put everything in that I need, and if I read it correctly and remember correctly, they also transfer your items from your Etsy shop to your Shopify. So everything is all set up and ready to go, because it's not like Etsy. Etsy took a little bit anyways and a little thought process, but Shopify has like all these apps you add on to it. So you put this shipping app on, and you put this app on, and that app on, and I just don't know all of that stuff. So I would like someone else to do it, so when the shop goes up, it's up and running. All of that to say, I'm thinking to do that soon, so that when all of these items that I finish making are ready to go, I can just pop them into the new shop. And my plan is to leave Etsy. I won't like completely delete my shop, but Etsy's been getting a little bit crazier and crazier, and things are getting a little wild. And I'm doing all the work anyways, so I may as well just do my thing in my own shop, because Etsy's always threatening. They're like, if you don't do this, we won't promote your shop, and if you don't do this, your shop won't be put here and there. And I was thinking, I'm doing all the promoting anyways, so I may as well do something on my own. They're always yelling at me for my pictures and stuff, and I'm just kind of worn out from them. You haven't had dinner yet? Oh my goodness, I'm on Jody's time. It's noon here. That's why I always say Arizona time, because sometimes we're mountain and sometimes we're Pacific, and I can't keep up, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. So I figured just Arizona time, and you guys can figure it out based on where you live. I usually have dinner between 4 and 5. I finish for the main part of the day. I have dinner, do all the dishes, take care of the cats and stuff, and then I usually, depending on what time it is, if I'm like editing videos still or something, I'll just work until then, and I'll go to bed. Maybe I'll sit on the couch, hold my knitting, and watch TV and fall asleep without actually knitting. But I usually come back here and sew maybe from 6:30 or 7 o'clock, and then I'll sew till like 8:30 or 9. Yeah, I have to pay Etsy for all kinds of fees, and then they still do that. And okay, the problem comes to, now I don't have this problem, but some other shops have had a problem. If you make something and Temu likes it and they decide to copy it, you know how some people steal photos from Etsy shops and Instagram and stuff, and they put it on different sites that are considered things like Temu, I don't know what they all are, Shein and stuff like that. If your product, if they find out that you have a photo in your Etsy shop that is in another store under a different name, like if I have it in Etsy and Shopify and Facebook and Instagram, it's all under RsIslandCrafts, it's fine. But if Giovanna, I'm going to borrow you. Giovanna takes my photo and she's this evil, evil person because, right, Giovanna's so evil. Just joking, everyone. So if Giovanna sees it and she says, oh, I'm going to go ahead and do this evil thing over here on Temu and I'm going to sell it, or I'm going to make up my own website and I'm going to sell it, but I'm going to use all of Robin's pictures, take everyone's money and run and hide and never send out a product. Etsy says they're trying to protect their customers, so if my photos end up somewhere else, the kicker is they close my Etsy shop. They don't say, hey, Robin, did someone steal your photos? They're like, oh, your photos are somewhere else for safety reasons. We have to close down your Etsy shop. Or they'll say, you mailed a package late last week, so we're withholding your income for so many weeks to verify you're sending out your packages on time. Etsy doesn't necessarily side with the Etsy shops, their customers. They tend to side with somebody else. So it makes it really hard. Yeah, it's really hard because, I mean, Target, Walmart, all of those big shops, they have people that they pay to just find ideas online, which is, of course, is normal. That's expected. But they're taking, like, whoops, if a small shop goes viral or something, there's people and shops like that that will just take your idea and they create a copy of it that is extremely similar to what yours is. And now, of course, people are going to buy from Target and Walmart and Temu because, one, it's cheaper in Temu, and otherwise it's a big company. So they're going to buy that, and now you've lost all your customers. I've seen it with crochet items, which is weird, artwork and stuff like that. So people are just really having a hard time. Because I enjoy following all the little small businesses and stuff, especially if they're sewing related. And it's good to keep up on the news. Oh, I have a drink in the morning. It's a meal replacement drink, so one of those protein ones, but it's got prebiotics, probiotics. It's got the special, the super greens and stuff in it. So I had that for breakfast, and then I had a banana to get me through. So by the time we're done, I'll do the dishes for the day, and then maybe I'll grab something quick, and I'll probably have a bowl of cereal for dinner. The lunchtime is usually my big meal, but on live stream days, I just kind of pick all day. Etsy can be. It's all in what you make it and how you can do it, but you have to be prepared no matter where you are. Even if you have like a Shopify or your own website, at any time a website can go down due to issues, right? You get that crazy 404, things could not work. So they're just saying to be diversified, so make sure you always have another option, that you can't completely rely on Etsy. Etsy is a great place when you first start out as a small business. I think it's one of the better places to be, where they have, like, you can go and buy things on Amazon Walmart has small businesses, and Michael's has small businesses too. So there's a lot of places you can have your shop. So I think Etsy is really great for, when you first start out. I'm not like dissing Etsy, but I think when you get to a certain point, I already have that right there, it becomes time to branch out and find something else that's going to work. And if Etsy works for you, then great. But a lot of places, the small shops, if you notice, still have several websites that you can go to, because some customers only want to go to Etsy and some customers will not go to Etsy no matter what. So it's a thing. And I don't want to be a thing. I just want to make pretty stuff and sell it, Otherwise, I'll drown in it. The fabric microwave bowls, yeah. Yeah. So it's crazy. They even if they don't like take your specific, they take the idea because it's so popular and they sell it a little bit less or whatever. Oh, actually, in your artwork, yeah. See, there's a rule on Etsy that you can't put like a watermark on any of your photos or anything. Etsy will pull down your listing. Yeah, so even if your whole shop doesn't get closed, you can get a listing pulled down for any reason. There's like certain keywords that they don't allow you to use, even if they're being used in a proper way that they're supposed to be used. But so you have to be careful. Everything and anything can be perfect for you, but it's like car insurance. If you have the same company all the time, you don't know if there's something better for you, better quality, better prices, because you've had the same thing that just keeps rolling over and over and over again. Now, it could be perfect for you, but after 15, 20 years, maybe there's something better. And as a small business, it is kind of nice to have control over your small business. So you get to decide what happens. Etsy says if I don't give free shipping for $35, that they won't do this, this, and this. So I'm like, okay, Etsy, I'll do this, this, and this. But then it makes me think about how to price my items. Because if I price something that is a value that should sell at $35, now I have to pay anywhere from $8 to $15 shipping. And it comes out of my pocket then. So that $35 item is now $20. So I just think that's just not always the best option. And then other things, it's great. But I want to be able to sell things for $5 if I want to. I don't want to have to think, okay, there's the credit card fee, the listing fee. Etsy takes this percentage plus this. Then there's this other fee. I don't want to have to say, oh, my $5 item is now $12 because to make any kind of profit, to value the cost of the material and the time it takes, I now have to jack the price up. Plus, it kind of feels a little bit more legitimate when you say, hey, here's my website versus here, I'm in this giant mall called Etsy. So come find my shop. And they've also started, if I take like the bowl cozies and I put my bowl cozy listing, if you go to people's listings and you look, there's suggested items down below. I used to think that those suggested items were items from that person's shop, and I think they were at one point, but now if Giovanna puts up bowl cozies and you look down below her listing at her shop, there'll be more bowl cozies or there might be tote bags, but they're mine. So now you're leaving Giovanna's shop and you're going to my shop when you thought you were doing it all in one place. So it's easy for a customer to get confused. So I'm really slow. I like to think things through. I've already done the jump real quick and regret it and have to change your plans again. So I've been thinking on it for a while. So to give everyone a heads up, I will be having most, if not everything, in regular RsIslandCrafts shop versus my Etsy shop. I have a lot of the same fabrics. Oh no, that's scary. I am so afraid of clicking anything, or they're like, "Hey Robin, you want to have 12 steps of notification? Do you want to take an hour before you sign into your YouTube?" And if it's protected, I'm like, "Yes, please." Download the videos, save them in all kinds of places. Speaking of, I have a new hard drive that I have to go up to Best Buy because I can't do anything with a Mac. There's like 7 steps to do something and I don't understand them. And then it'll ask me a question and I can't find an answer anywhere online. So I have the Apple Care so that I just go up to Best Buy and they fix it for me. But yeah, you have to download all of your videos and save them in 3 different locations and have the most complicated passwords, and they still can get you. It's so scary. And if your channel is small, medium, large, and extra large, the amount of help that you can get from YouTube is different. A lot of times it's a squeaky wheel that gets the oil. So a lot of channels that have issues, they'll have their viewers like you guys contact and do different things, because otherwise it's really hard to get a channel back once it's been stolen. And then a lot of people are losing like Instagram. People don't want to do Facebook a lot, right? So if you don't have a Facebook page for your business, someone else will come and create a Facebook page, steal your videos from YouTube, and you're still on YouTube, but they copy them. And then they'll also go to your Instagram and steal stuff from there, your photos and stuff. And then they make copies and they end up making more money, more views, more everything as a copycat than you're making. And you're like, where did all of my views go? Oh, someone copied my channel. Yeah, it's confusing, right? Ellen, it's really confusing. Hi, Beryl. My foundation strips are the paper, the tissue paper that came in the center of my Pellon fusible fleece. It's 5 inches. So when I got several yards, because I always buy things like this when it's on sale at Joann's. Oh, look, it does match up. I buy several yards. So they sent it with, has all the directions of the paper inside on here. So I saved that and I cut it in half because I thought it's perfect for cutting and for sewing on with the Scrappy strips. And I am sewing at a 1.8 stitch length. Yeah, I'm at 1.8. And it just peels off like tissue paper, but it's that waxy paper, so it's really good. I'm actually enjoying this. I'm going to save mine, even if it's just this much from now on, just because I like how easy it is. Right? They work kind of hard, but they make quick money and then they run. Just like any of the other types of scams that they get people with, the credit card and that fake toll scam that's going on. People in Arizona are getting really confused. I'm in the surprise Facebook group, and they're like, I keep getting these toll things, and everyone's like, it's a scam. They're like, how can it be a scam? And they're like, because Arizona doesn't have any tolls. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Now I do. But we're still getting them from Florida and stuff like that. Well, yeah, Giovanna, the thing with free shipping is if you're buying a $100 product, chances are the free shipping is included into that price, or at least a portion of it. But if you're buying something that's like $10 or $15, chances are the free shipping is not there. What secrets behind everything is if at $35, Etsy has this thing right in there that does it for you. If you're getting free shipping at $35, what they do is they tell you for like this $15 item to add 75 cents to the price. And if you add 75 cents to all of your $15 items and someone buys 5 or 6 of them, they get free shipping. But you've collected a little bit, you collected a few change here and there so that it'll cover the free shipping. And if you have an item, like if you're selling a quilt, it's a really big priced item. You're either going to give free shipping because you've charged, $4,000 for a quilt. Of course, you're going to give free shipping. But when it's right at that $25 to $45 mark, it's really kind of hard. You have to be careful. Because if you sell a lot of things at $35 and you don't include any kind of percentage in there, even if it's just $1, then, it's hard. You're going to end up losing money. So if you put 50 cents or $1 on all of the items, sometimes you'll pay for the shipping as a shop owner, and other times the customer's ordered enough that it covers the shipping. So if you see something in my shop for $15, it's not that it's $10 plus $5 shipping. It's like $14.50 plus 50 cents shipping or something like that. But if it's something that's right at that $35 mark, you kind of have to play with it a little bit to make sure that it's hard with the pricing. You have to make the money on the item for at least the fabric that you're putting into it, right? All of the material and stuff, a little bit for your time, because minimum wage, $15 to $20. I saw somewhere that some people, if you're an experienced quilter, they charge $50 an hour. Some people, on average, it's about, I think they were saying $30 to $35 an hour for a quilter. I do $20 an hour when I'm figuring out by how much to pay myself, if I'm figuring out the cost by hour. Normally, it's just materials and a little bit extra, because most things don't take an hour to make anyway. Plus, then you have to add in all the Etsy fees, the credit card fees, and all of that stuff to make sure that's covered. Because otherwise, you're coming out as a negative. So it's a really hard balance. Yeah, I try not to click on anything. Like when you guys send me links, I try to read what the link is or figure it out by what you say. You'll say something like, RsIslandCrafts, Robin just posted something fun in a video. Here's the link to it. I will go on my own to the site and look for it, because not that you guys are trying to do anything, but something could have happened along the way and maybe something could be bad, and I have to be really careful. Yeah, you're getting the toll scams? Yeah, Florida and Arizona are getting them too. I think everyone's getting them. Yeah, save the paper. It's great, even if you're doing like string blocks. Even maybe you might have to, tape it together or glue it together or something. Frida, it's a secret. I'm keeping it a secret. It's not like totally original. I have seen this project done with like big pieces of fabric that weren't scraps, but I'm going to do it with scraps. And when I get enough, I'll show you guys and I'll talk you through what I did. But for now, I'm just going to keep it a secret because it could be a while before I make it. Not that I don't want to share. I just want to give the wow factor. And I don't want Giovanna to ask me 12 times if I finished that project yet. Yeah, I don't know what $50 Australian goes to American. Hey Siri. $50 Australian to American dollars. That's $32, $31.89. So yeah, that's right up there. And it depends too, like if you're selling quilts, if you're going to sell something that's a whole bunch of 10-inch layer squares or 5-inch charm squares, that's going to be at a different labor cost than if you did a New York Beauty, or some foundation paper piecing and stuff. So it's all different. I'm going to have so many scraps that I think I'm going to be able to do a couple of projects, but I want to... It's going to have the same theme on everything, so I'm thinking a mini quilt, a zipper pouch, a tote bag, and things like that. No, I haven't, Giovanna. It's going to come up in my whips project. I haven't touched my whips this month. That's on my list. I need to fit everything in. I have to finish. I did my Patreon video. I'm editing it, but I just kept falling asleep last night while editing it. When I finish this, I'll pull down the recent projects. Right now, I'm trying to get all of the Missouri Star stuff set up. I have rotary cutters, the 28 millimeter. They accidentally sent me 2 packages. So instead of 2, one for me and one for you, I have 4. So it's 1 for me and 3 for you. So 3 different people will be able to win. There's an Easter one that I got. It's all edited, but I have to have it posted for tomorrow. Then there's Chuck's birthday. I'm just going to show you. So this is what, it's all going to be on Instagram. You won't see it on YouTube. But I made this tote bag is from Missouri Star. And this is the template for Chuck the Duck. So I made this for Chuck's birthday. I'm still waiting on, there's a Chuck the Duck t-shirt that's coming, but it's all on back order. There's going to be, I don't know if it's only the affiliates are going to earn commission coming up. I think that's what it's going to be. They're doing a major sale for Chuck the Duck, so it's supposed to be better than the 20% discount. And that'll be coming up soon. I think it's actually this week, like the 21st to the 27th. I have to double check. But I made, using the templates, this little jelly bean pouch. And that's cute. But for my patrons, I made these tulip bags. Aren't they darling? I thought they were really cute for summertime. I was going to do one on each side. I know, Giovanna, I asked for it. I was going to do one on each side, but I decided to make 2 bags instead, so they're blank on the back. These are adorable. So as soon as I can get pictures of these, they're going to go in the shop. But if anyone wants to claim dibs on it, just send me an email. It's all down in the description box where you can find me. Let me catch up. When you accept credit cards, are you charged a 3% fee to use their card? Yes. Yeah, I don't know if it's 3%. It's something. I feel like it's more like 3.5. Yeah, the credit card company charges to run the credit card. So there's always a fee, and most people pay with credit cards. So it's part of, like, Etsy gives you all this information every month, and then I put it into my paper and Spark spreadsheets. I have loved them. It's once you figure out how to use them the first time, it's not like it's hard, but it's a learning thing if you've never used small business financial stuff before. I've never done bookkeeping like this before, so it took me a little bit to get used to it. But their products are really great, and you only pay once, and then you can use the spreadsheet over and over again. And Janet has great customer service. I know a lot of you guys use Paper and Spark, but it's listed in there, and there's like so many things. But when you're using Etsy and you're listing an item, when you put the cost in, it'll tell you if you haven't put any numbers in. Let's say I just put in an item for $50. Etsy will tell me you will earn $42 off of this item after all of the Etsy fees and stuff. So that's kind of helpful. So if nothing else, you can kind of put a number in and work your way if you can't figure out exactly what to charge. But there are a lot of paid for and free how to price your items guides that you can get online. You can get, I mean, they have ones for like crochet and stuff I've seen, and I've looked at them. I've even paid $1 or $2 to support the person to get them, and they can work for any product, like glass making, or you can use it for, fabric stuff and all of that. So it works out really great. Thank you. Aren't they so fun? I saw my quilt in the closet, Giovanna. The problem is sitting down, and I need to make a backing for it. I need to get the batting for it, and then I need to baste it and quilt it and bind it. So there's still a bit of a process to it, and it's just for me. And I bought a soft fuzzy blanket, so it's not a priority anymore. So yeah, but it's in my stack of plastic bins in my closet. I almost said garage. In my closet, and there's just things that are more of a priority than something for myself. You know, if I want to eat, if I want to feed the cats, I have to do videos and put stuff in the shop. So something for me doesn't always take priority. It was more of a fun thing to do with you guys than something that I absolutely had to have this very minute. Thank you guys. I love them. I love tulips. They are. Zipper pouches are so fun to make. I only did a 1/2 inch boxed corners, so it's like 1 inch on the bottom. I think it's just perfect for that size. But that 1/2 inch, I actually cut the corners out instead of doing the triangle thing like I normally do, is cut the corners out. And oh, that almost had me swearing trying to get all those together to work. It's crazy. I'm going to finish these and press them, and then we can take the paper off together. And then if you guys have any chatty things you want to chat about or any questions, if you want me to show you something or talk about something. You also haven't finished yours? Yeah. Tulips are so pretty. Hi, Barb. We're still chatting. I mean, you missed a lot, but you didn't miss anything. I know my strips are all different widths, but I always kind of smile and chuckle at myself when one strip finishes before the other. It's nice. It's like I only have to do 5 strips now. Ooh, I only have to do 3 strips now. It's funny, I don't mind the repetitive boringness of this. I can do this all day, no problem. People sent me pictures based on where they live, if they grow tulips in that area and stuff. Oh my goodness. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I had tulip bulbs at a couple different houses. Anytime I moved to a new rental or something, I always planted tulips because when I first started living on my own and stuff, we would move to a house and spring would come, Easter would come, and tulips would pop up just randomly. I didn't plant them. They just showed up. I thought it was this magnificent, miracle, magical thing to just have flowers growing out of the weeds or wherever. So I always did that. Even if the place had tulips, I'd find a new place and I'd plant tulips or other bulbs because I just thought it was the neatest thing to have. Surprise, we're here. This is 13 inches. Basically want them 12 and a half. There's a little bit of paper peeking through, so whatever. I'm just going to put a piece on. I don't know exactly yet how long I need my strips to be, and since I'm doing a wall hanging and tote bags and zipper pouches, they're all going to be different. So this is going to be fine. I'll just add on, while I'm sitting here, I'll just make sure everyone goes past the paper. My very imprecise decision-making skills here. Yeah, the repetitive process can be very calming. Sometimes, there was a few times this week, I was so angry. I wasn't mad like myself, but my body, my internalness, my brain and everything, it was just, I was furious. I was like blackout rage mad. I didn't share it too much because, one, I'm home alone, and 2, I try to warn my family when I feel like that. It doesn't happen too often. But I was just so angry. I didn't even want to hear the sewing machine running. And thankfully, it was after I'd already done my videos. I was only grouchy for my videos instead of super angry. But I was like, oh my goodness. I couldn't, the sewing machine running just made me angry. But most of the time, I love the repetitiveness of it. Just rinse and repeat over and over. There's no thought, especially if the fabric is sitting here. If I'm doing string blocks and I got to figure out the long one in the center and the short ones, what color do I want? That's more of non-relaxing. But once all the decisions are made, then I'm kind of happy. It's relaxing. It's fun. I enjoy it. My chair's in the way. Jody has tulip fields in Seattle. Oh, nice. I would imagine a lot of things grow in Seattle because you're wet all the time. Daffodils. You put 90 bulbs in? Wow. I've always loved those gardens that have all of the wild flowers, so everything's like really tall, and then they have like the shorter stuff around the house, but you can do the walking paths. If I had a yard that I could do that in and I was ready to upkeep it, because the wild stuff, you just let that go, right? You just keep adding seeds to it. A lot of them will grow back every year. I would love that. The Netherlands, the tulips are breathtaking. I imagine. Wow. Laura, 1 year for our wedding anniversary, September 1st, my husband ordered tulips for her. I know it cost him a fortune because it wasn't the season. Wow. It's special. My husband wanted to buy flowers all the time because, you know, he made a lot of oops. But I told him I don't want a flower every time you screw up. One, we can't afford it. And two, you know, flowers die. We had a really beautiful flower garden in the front of the house because every time he screwed up, he'd bring home a plant. So then I would just plant it and everything. It was just really nice. I'm like, this is Rob's I screwed up garden. Look at all the pretty flowers. Lenny, my mother loved tulips. Several years after she passed, one of my nieces and her husband went by her old house that was vacant at the time and dug up her tulips and brought them back. Heck yeah. They're in the ground. It's not like you took them out when they were flowering and stuff. I know you're not supposed to do stuff like that, but I don't care. You're also not supposed to take the light bulbs out of a rental house or a house you sold. I put cheap light bulbs in and I take my good light bulbs out. I like the look of lavender. I'm not sure how much my allergies like lavender. But I've been using this lavender cleaning product. It's from the Dollar Tree, so I don't know if it's actually lavender. So I'll have to see. I've always wanted to buy lavender, dried lavender, and make like the sachets or the pin cushions with it and stuff. But at one point, nobody was really interested in it, so I never did it. Because not everyone likes scented things, but I always kind of think about it. It would be fun. Only if my body can handle lavender. Could you see me trying to fill pin cushions and stuff? Sneezing and watery eyes? Yeah, that wouldn't be fun. Okay, so there's that. Pardon me while let's do this. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. Sorry if you have to look at weird body parts, but we're going to do that. Okay. Now, let me get... Oh, oops, I'm attached. Hold on, I need a 12.5-inch ruler. See, for projects like this is why I want like only one ruler. I don't know exactly what size I want, but they have like 2.5 by 12.5. I don't think I want that. That's too skinny. But maybe like a 6.5, like a half ruler, 6.5 by 12.5. That might be nice. Just to have something that's not, because this is big. You know, I don't always need something big and bulky. Yeah, I screwed up garden. Hey, don't forget, look at this so you can see how many times you've messed up. There you go. This is when you forgot my birthday. This is when you made me cry on Mother's Day. This is when you did this. This one was just because you loved me. So, you know, we'll put those in there too. Because he was the type of person that would bring flowers or a gift just because, so that when he did screw up, maybe I should use a longer ruler. You know, he already had it in the bank, right? You should have some extra in the bank. You can grow the heck out of daffodils? Nice. Tulips in upstate New York don't do well. Oh, yeah, you have the deers and the deer and everything like that. Yeah, I don't blame you. That's just too much work. Yeah, every now and then, don't be mad they were on sale. I've heard like the ones at Costco and stuff are relatively inexpensive, and we had like the Publix flowers back home in Florida, and they had nice flowers at a decent price. Now I didn't mind that every now and then, but I don't want like roses and tulips and really nice ones, you know, just a basic one, $5, $6 every now and then is fine, but don't go crazy. Purple lilacs, which grow to tree size. Whoa. Night blooming jasmine, that smells really good, but that bothers me. So I don't do jasmine very well. I know that much, but it's always really pretty. I like is lilacs the ones that have like the branch and it has like a whole bunch, like I don't know, a whole like cone of them or something like that. I love the flowers that do that, or like the big bunches that have a whole bunch of little flowers, but it's one giant flower. I really like that. Yeah, sunflowers every now and then, but yeah, it's nice to just I'm not like I don't have to have a gift all the time. Annual Tulip Festival. Wow. We have like a sunflower festival coming up really soon. Like wisteria. Okay, yeah, different things like that. Yeah, a whole bunch of tiny flowers in a group. I love those. Yeah, I miss that too. You guys are gonna make me cry now. That and when you look at someone and you have a history with them and you don't have to explain it, or you can say, hey, remember when? Ha 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 ha. I miss all that. I think that's part of why I don't want to go anywhere here, because who are you going to share it with? The person I shared things with is not here. Apparently, after Grumpy comes Crybaby. Excuse me for a second. You don't blow your nose in a live stream, right? All right, we're good. We're good. We're good. My fault I brought it up. Yeah, sewing and laughs, that's all you're going to get here, right? I have fun. You guys can hang out with me online. That counts as something. Lily of the Valley? Well, let's look that up. I know I hear that a lot. Thank you, guys. Pictures. Oh, what's that? Oh, yeah. Lily of the Valley. Ow, my knee. Every time I turn weird, my knee cracks. Lily of the Valley. Ooh. Well, Walmart has them, but we don't trust whatever Walmart says, but stop. Yes, I had a delivery. Thank you. I appreciate it. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, look. There it is again. Oh, yeah, like little bells. Little bells. I see all your comments and I appreciate it, and I'm reading them, but I'm ignoring them at the moment, if you don't mind. Lily of the Valley grows like weeds in your garden. Um, I'm that neighbor you don't want because, what is it? Daffodils in the yard? What are the little yellow flowers in the yard that are weeds that you're not supposed to let grow? Well, I kind of like looking out and seeing the grass with all the yellow weeds in it. As long as my grass is growing, I am not. All right, this has a 2.5, and I don't have to look at it, so I'm going to put 2.5 on here. Now, if you have a 2.5 inch strip, but you want it to be 4 inches, make sure you have enough extra fabric on each side. You don't need the full wide strip. So if you're doing like 5 inch scraps, you don't have to have it just, the strips are to help keep you aligned to work with bias. So if I wanted to, I could go all the way over and make a 3.5 inch strip. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, everybody's 2.5 inches already. So I don't, let me double check. Second guess myself. Where is 2.5? Yeah, everyone's already at 2.5 inches. So I'm going to keep with that because it's half of the 5 inches. You're the instigator, huh? Oh, this one is super close. But that's okay, because even if you're just a little bit short, it's going to be in the seams. I like going like this. I don't know, satisfaction of cleaning it up. So even if one goes in a oh, I cut it at 3.5 because I was talking to you guys about that. That would explain why one was a little bit short. So was my paper wider than 2.5? Okay, so the reason I'm cutting a little bit weird, like I'm trying to measure, I don't want to measure by the paper, I want to measure by my cut, because the way I lined it up, I have fabric and then the paper. So I'm going to go by the edge of my cut that I lined it up, because if I'd been pressing this with just all my scraps, I could be going wonky with bias everywhere. But I'm going to cut on that fabric edge versus the paper edge. So on this side, I am cutting through paper, because when I put the fabric on and everything and lining it all up, I was trying to line up 2.5 inches off of this little green line right there just to make it easy to line up. So that's why things got a little wonky. The dandelions, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, they're going to blow everywhere. And I learned when I was trying to clean up these other weeds, they have the bunny vines down in Florida, they everywhere. Doing some research online, they say when the weeds in the plants drop their seeds into your grass, they stay dormant for probably 5 years. I think it was like 3 to 5 years or 5 to 7 years or something crazy. So what's growing in your yard right now is something that was there, possibly 5 years ago. So if you want to get it out, you can pull it out now before it goes to seed, but chances are for the next 2 to 3 years or so, you're still going to see more because it's going to be from another time. I have so much white scraps, I'm not going to mess with that. I'm trying not to be crazy. So when I sewed my scraps, I tried to put, what did I give it, about 1/2 inch past the paper to make that line, and I left all of my extra down here instead of just trying to do whatever. That way, when I do it, I can, when I've done it the other ways, sometimes one would be a little too short, but it would be long that way. By going a little bit long and not lining it up with the top of the paper, and then it just makes it easier to trim on this side on the second cut when all of the extra bulk is there. Because when I take my scraps, I go like this. I take my scrap and I hold it up to the paper that I'm doing or my ruler, and I go, oh, is it long enough? No, don't use that one. Oh, is it long enough? Okay, great, use that one. Or I trim it to be about 1 inch longer than what I need. Are going to sewing things with you because they want to learn, so it's fun. Oh, so yeah, Jody likes to have company. She doesn't care, well, I mean, you care who goes with you, but you just want company, and you want to be able to chat sewing stuff and look at stuff while you're shopping and things like that. So it's great that the kids' friends are going to hang out with you at your different little sewing things because I know how important they are for you. Me, if I miss it, most of the time, unless I'm not looking forward to seeing anything specific, I'm just hoping to whatever. Sometimes I'll just go to window shop, but I'm at the point now where I just have so much to occupy my time that if I'm just going to go and window shop and not get like ideas or something, like I'm not going to go window shopping at clothing because it's not going to inspire me usually to do something for my business or the videos. I'd rather take that time and just stay home and work. Plus, if I'm out driving too long or walking too long, it takes my body a little bit to recover. So a 4-hour outing with Jody could take me 3 days the day I'm there with her and 2 or 3 more days just to recuperate. So that takes a lot of time out of my schedule. So I have to plan ahead for all the stuff that I need to do during the week to make sure it's done and some recuperation days because Jody's a maniac. You go and eat your feelings afterwards. Yeah. Thankfully, Rob and I had a different style of eating. He was very much the guy's guy, meat and potatoes and barbecue and all that. And I've always been more of the salad and lighter stuff. Because otherwise, I think there would be foods I wouldn't be able to eat. Like, I do certain things when I make potato salad and macaroni salad, it reminds me of my grandmother. And I know everyone's like that, right? You have certain dishes that remind you of people. My grandmother loved macaroni salad. It's one of the things I plan on making maybe this week. I'm really enjoying the prep your food for the week so I don't have to like cook every day. It saves a lot of time and cleanup since I'm the person doing the dishes. Like today, I do the dishes once in the morning, but on Saturdays, on live stream days, thankfully it's only twice a month because the dishes just keep piling up throughout the day as the kids are doing things. So when I go out there in a little bit, it's going to be a lot of dishes for me to do. We have a dishwasher, but so many things can't go in the dishwasher nowadays. We all have like water bottles and coffee cups and all of that. Oh, I love a salad bar. All right, bye, Giovanna. Have a good evening. Enjoy your dinner if you haven't had dinner yet. Oh, only went to the casino after and 4 other fabric stores besides the sewing expo. Yeah, you're dangerous. You'd be good with me though, Jody, because you would have forced time to sit down and relax. I can't eat a lot of places because being allergic to milk and soy really changes where I can eat. But I can sit down and pull snacks out of my bag while you sit down and eat and relax, even though you can't eat a lot of places because of your food issues. But we'd figure out something. Happy Easter! I always loved the salad bar growing up. I mean, now that I know better because they're gross, but at the same time, I do miss a good buffet. There's still a few places that buffet. Miss Mocha is sleeping right about here on the hope chest underneath my table, and she is snoring like crazy. I'm going to sit down and be lazy. I enjoy a good salad bar. So is anyone doing anything exciting or fun for Easter? I know some of the people that hang out with us, they're really big on, like they do the big family dinners and they love cooking for 30 people and stuff. I don't even like cooking for myself anymore. I'm pretty sure there are some places here, at least in the Phoenix or other big areas, that have a lot of vegan places and stuff. The problem I run into is vegan, fine, it goes dairy free, but some places use soybean oil and then I'm out of luck. Or they put tofu in it or soy protein isolate stuff. And, I really struggle when my throat, swells closed. It really kind of ruins the meal for me, right? If it was as easy as just taking a pill, I'd be all for it. But it keeps me out of trouble. I do not go to fast food restaurants. I do not spend a lot of money eating out or buying junk from the grocery store or anything. So it's a balance. There's good and bad. Oh, pizza places always have a good one. We had a few in Florida back when my grandparents were still around. I was in high school, and I used to love to go. I love those imitation bacon bits. Those are really good, but they're made from soy, so I don't eat those anymore. But I love a good imitation bacon bit, that smoky smell and flavor. Yeah, it just makes it a little harder to eat, right, Charmaine? Kind of freaks out the people around you if I let them know. Oh, that's fun too. Yeah, we used to have to work different holidays and stuff. Not everyone closed back then. And when I worked at the hospital as housekeeping, you're there 24/7. That never closes. So we would do different holidays and stuff. So we'd just celebrating them at a different time. Taking your sister to the spring fair. Nice. Baby pigs, sheep, goats. It counts. It counts. I know in Florida they would do sunrise services and everything. And if it never rained one single day all year long, you knew it was going to rain on Easter Sunday because it always rained on those outdoor events. They always had to have tents up and stuff. Doing laundry and making meals. Nice. It's great when they're supportive like that. He's definitely a keeper. My husband would freak out if I got sick or something. He would totally have a meltdown because I think he just spiraled out of control thinking, what will I do if something happened to Robin? How would I survive? So he was really unhelpful in those circumstances. But in other things, he would surprise me now and then. But he was definitely raised in the husband watches football, wife takes care of the house and kids age. And, of course, he enjoyed that. Well, your daughter is hosting Easter dinner. Yeah, you've had a rough time. It's nice when it's good to pass it on to the next generation anyways. And it's nice when you can go to someone else's house and then when you're done, you go home. I always help with the cleanup anyway. But when you're done, you go home. You also don't have to wait for the stragglers to leave your house. When you're done, you're done. You don't have to wait for Uncle Bert, who's going to stay there until 11 o'clock at night to finally go home. Yeah, you guys have a lot of rain in Seattle. Rob had a raincoat that he bought. It was New York Giants because that was his football team. And we spent a decent amount of money on it. And it's a really nice raincoat. And since he was 6 foot something and had really broad shoulders, I kind of saved a lot of his things because the raincoat goes down to my knees and stuff, which just happened to be itchy. So I saved it and I brought it here and it's just sitting in the closet. I've got no use for a raincoat right now. Yeah, it's time. And, it's hard. I know it can be hard for some people to give up the hosting, hosting stuff, but it is nice when you can be part of the gathering versus always worrying and getting the food ready. And even when you have help, you're still does everyone have a drink? Is there napkins everywhere? Oh no, we're low on forks. Let me get some forks. Did I talk to everybody instead of just relaxing and enjoying it? So it'll be nice for you to just enjoy it. Oh, yes, Connie. We haven't had Easter egg hunts in forever. We haven't even made like colored eggs or anything. I used to, for the longest time when like the kids were teenagers and stuff, they're like, we don't want to color eggs. I'm like, you weren't invited anyways. I got all of this stuff because I want to color eggs. Now I would love to be able to do that. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's the Portuguese sorry or something, where you like reverse dye the eggs. You like dye it all. You put wax on it and dye it black, and then you wipe it off, and then you do another design and add colors and stuff, so that you're only. I don't want to decorate hard-boiled eggs because I can't eat that many. I want to decorate eggs to permanently decorate them, like embroidered and stuff like that. Oh, that would be fun. Let me see if I can find out what that's called. It's Ukrainian. Oh, look, I was close. It's Pasanki. Martha Stewart did it, of course. Oh, that's from 2025. Huh, wonder if it's just an update. I can't wrap my head around that reverse thing that they do. I would probably do better if I practiced it and stuff. But it's so amazing. Well, you get to watch the neighbors. That's fun. We used to go to when they had Easter egg hunts and my kids were off doing their own thing, but they're still like teenagers and stuff. Rob and I would just go to the park and watch all the littles run around. The different churches would do it. So you don't have to be part of anything. You don't have to pay to get in, or they were free. It depends. And we didn't have kids, but we would just be those. I don't know how well it would work nowadays, but we would be those weird people with no kids watching all the kids doing the Easter egg hunts. We just pretended like we were grandparents. It's cute. I like watching them. You don't sit. Yeah. And even then, we're just kind of picking while you're preparing and stuff. So if you're doing like a buffet, I remember I never really sat that much. We used to do like neighborhood cookouts and stuff. I loved doing those. I had so much fun. And it was great because then I would make sure that, I made what we liked, and I'd make a plate for Rob to make sure he had something to eat and the kids and stuff. And it was just, then I have dinner, after everyone's gone, I would eat something. Or you could find me, like, after everyone's eaten, then Mom usually sits down and has something to eat with whatever's left over. Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah, it begins again after dessert. Never stops. It is strange, Laura, doing it. You used to do everything, and now you have to let it go. Even though your daughter's going to do fine, it's not the same. You're not there doing it. And like, what do I do? What do I do with my hands when I'm sitting down watching TV if I'm not knitting? I don't know what to do. I feel lost and empty. You want to get up and help, but your daughter also wants to be able to do it herself. She's doing it as a gift for you, and it's just so many things going on and so many emotions. But in the end, it's going to be a wonderful day, and you can help in some other way. There'll be something for you to do. All right, hitting the end of this, and then I'm going to say we are done for the day. I'm going to try to behave myself. There are a few larger orange fabrics that just some of my favorites. Things that I won't keep most of them, but there's a couple in here that I'll pull out. But for the most part, I'm going to put them over in my trash can, and I'm going to leave them be. And when I throw away, I try to just throw the trash from here for the fabrics. That way I'm not looking in the trash bin, because if I look in there, I might see something and want to pull it out. Yeah, it'll all be perfect. Yeah, you don't have to worry. She's going to have it all perfect. Oh, I have 2 more strips. Huh, I thought I was done. Yeah, she'll have it perfect, but it's just going to be weird because you're not doing it. I mean, then we have the holidays coming up. You've got picnics and barbecues in the summer, and then Thanksgiving and Christmas. Whew, you might be fired. I can tell by the end of the day if I haven't drank enough throughout the day. What do I have an ad for? Turn your browser into a marketer's best friend. Boop, 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 boop. Oh. Just small business stuff. I thought it was a new marketplace since we were talking about Etsy so much. Yeah, I don't have anything against Etsy. This is not a, down on Etsy type thing. I think Etsy's a great place. Some people are making, $1 million easily. They sell so many things. It just depends on what it is and how you push people to your site and what you're doing. But we all have to see what works best for us, and no matter what it is. I can show you a technique and say it's the greatest thing. It makes my life easier. But you could be like, no, not quite for me. I'm going to make a couple more of the boxy bags. I want to figure out what numbers to give you guys for the one I make. And I'm basically going to tell you, hey, check out the other free videos and stuff if you need different numbers. There's all kinds of different sizes you can use. And then I found a calculator. I just have to remember where I saved the information. So if you wanted to finish at a certain size, you put the numbers in and it tells you what size to cut your fabric. So that'll be really helpful. And then I'll do the boxy bag video. I had a request for a bucket hat video, and that's something I've always wanted to make. So we'll see on that one. I have to watch some videos and figure it out first. Kids love Grandma's house. You have 4 of the aprons ironed, pinned, and ready to sew. That's the hardest part. Getting that all ready. I have a headache. Yeah. In my opinion, it's all... Oh, my hands itch so bad. It all depends on if you can put the traffic to your shop. Like, some people just sell on Instagram, and it works beautifully for them. It depends on how much time you have, what you're selling, and how much, you can put into it and stuff. I think selling your items is... This looks like a pumpkin. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, but look, there's a pumpkin in the flower. I think that's my imagination. I think if you're making things and you have... The reason I had a shop is because I love making things and I don't have anyone to give them to anymore and I have too much stuff. So I have to sell what I make because, first of all, it's income. And second, I'll be overrun with everything, so... Was so tired at end of day, even though the 3 girls always cleaned up. Yeah. Yeah, you make things and gift them. If you start to hear more and more people, wanting to buy something or whatever, then do it. If you're just having fun and it's not something you have to do to make money or something, then I suggest keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, there's free patterns for bucket hats online. I need to watch... My process is... Watch a bunch of free videos, figure out the tips and tricks, make a couple myself, and then make a video. Unless it's something like, hey, let's just make this zipper pouch. Something I've made before, but it's a little different. I'll just wing it, Hey, let's make an eyeglass case. I don't need to watch a bunch of videos for that. It's all about the same. But for the boxy bags, there's just like 4 different ways to make them. And I just needed to find which one's good for me. And which size I want. I've bought a few patterns, so I have like printouts and I have charts and stuff with all the different sizes until I figure out which ones I want for the shop. And then, yeah, you just wing it. First one, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Ooh, Easter egg hunt, $8,000. Oh, no cooking for you. That sounds great. Resellers on eBay is a struggle right now. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff going on. Yeah, the customer isn't always right anymore because the customer is right until the customer is doing it on purpose because they want to use the customer is right saying to their advantage. Well, you're going to go to your son's house tomorrow. That sounds like fun, Barb. Daughter-in-law said not to bring anything, but of course you're going to. Oreo cookie balls. We love Oreo balls here. That's a really popular one. Yeah. We used to do like the peanut butter balls, but the my daughter and I were hit and miss with peanut butter. Sometimes our stomachs are okay and sometimes they're not. So she prefers like the Oreo balls. Oh, yeah, they're great. And if you use the mint Oreo ones, if you like mint, those are always really popular for the people that I make them for. They love the mint Oreos. And that way you don't have to worry about putting any mint chocolate or mint oil seasoning or anything in it. It's just a mint Oreo and it's perfect. There's also recipes for raw cookie dough balls that you use like pudding and stuff. So it's not like actual raw cookie doughs. It's just, the name of it. It tastes like raw cookie dough. Buckeye balls is the peanut butter one, and that's just like this peanut butter mixture that you dip in chocolate. So pretty much anything. Rice Krispie treats are really popular here too, but my kids like to do things like Fruity Pebble Rice Krispie treats or Cocoa Pebbles. Or I've used like Trix cereal and just crunched it up and stuff. So you kind of mix things up. All right, I am done for today. To be honest with you, I need to go off screen and my hands really itch. I need to scratch them. And then I need to go do dishes and make some lunch and all of that. So I'm going to work on all of that. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me and keeping me company. And I hope everyone has a wonderful Easter. Now remember, there's a retail blackout tomorrow. Some stores are going to be open, others are going to be closed. So if there's anything you need, make sure you check to see if the store you're going to go to is open. Otherwise, get it today because a lot of places are closing. I know Publix is closing. I think Target is closing. Walmart's supposed to be staying open. I think Trader Joe's is closing. Clean your sewing machine, change your needles, stay hydrated. Thank you, everybody. I will see you guys on the next week at Whip It Wednesday. But hey, keep an eye out on my Instagram. And oh, last minute, I forgot. I started posting, I posted one video over on Patreon. I'll mention it probably if I remember on Whip It Wednesday. But anyone that signed up for a free Patreon, then I did a little video to go along with walking to the mailbox and getting ready to do things for the Babylon leather video. Thank you guys so much for watching that and clicking on the links. And yeah, I think that's everything. Wish me luck getting everything done this week. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Happy Easter. It's like Frosty the Snowman. Happy birthday.